So I'm pretty sure I'm late to the party on this side, but did you seriously think you could keep me from another adorable rare animal? Wrong! Check timestamps below for the parts that you want. Also, if you want to cheap and skip all this, here's the command. I know some of you are out there. Give it a good few seconds. Alright, those people are probably gone by now. They got what they wanted. But for my vanilla veterans who are still here, let's get strategizing. Your first problem is going to be finding a bamboo forest, and they're actually pretty rare, so that can be a problem in any world. And in some of my research, I found that they're so rare that one might be so hard to find that it seems like they haven't spawned at all. So obviously, the first thing that we need to find our pandas is a bamboo jungle. To do so, I'd recommend using an ocean to cover more ground. Oceans, after all, are big open areas, boats are faster. One article that I found, which I don't know if it was legit or not, said that jungles usually spawn next to taiga biomes or near extreme hill biomes. Again, I don't know if that's true, but maybe it'll help. Also, if you're later in the game, elytra scouting is probably the easiest way for you to go and look for bamboo forests. But earlier on, I think sailing the seas or traveling by foot, if you really feel like doing so, will be the easiest way for you to go. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to find a bamboo forest, unless you have some seeds. So unless you're in an established world and don't want to give that up, here are a couple seeds for you to use. So let's talk about how exactly pandas spawn. Obviously, we all know they spawn in bamboo forests. But to top off your other problems, pandas are already rare. So sometimes you can come across a bamboo forest, but there might not even be a panda there. Or, more problematically, you only find one, and it's not the brown one you're looking for. So what do you do? Well, here are the spawn conditions for a panda. Obviously, they need to be in a bamboo forest biome. They need at least 2 blocks of space above them, so maybe clear out some of the bamboo around. And they spawn in groups of 1 to 2 in these jungle biomes. Also, they need a light level of 9 or more, so your best chance to find them is during the day. About 5% of pandas in-game spawn as babies, and there's only a 2% chance of any panda spawning as brown. Now, if you don't find pandas in their little forests, run around for a little while, then come back to give them a chance to spawn. Clearing out some of the bamboo might give you a little bit more area for them to spawn, and killing everything else in the area might also give them a better chance to spawn, because passive mobs are very purposefully set with low caps, like only so many chickens can spawn in an area, only so many cows, etc., etc., and that fills up some sort of tally. I don't entirely understand how it works, but one source that I found said that killing everything in the area might reset the mob cap and give you a better chance of finding your panda. Let's get on to breeding. At this point, pandas have been out for a while. You might already know there are types, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that there could be angry pandas. Do you realize what I would have done if I had known there were angry pandas? Forget axolotl armies, I want an angry panda army. But anyway, if you didn't know this, there are actually 7 different types of pandas in Minecraft, based on 7 different personalities they can have. If you're not hearing the air quotes around that, I'm a little confused why they continued to call it personalities when one of the personalities is just brown. So anyway, here are the types. Normie pandas, not special, skip ahead. Lazy pandas, slow, sloth impersonators, constantly sleeping, lie on their backs. Java Edition lazy pandas are even lazier, because they won't even follow you if they're lying on their back. Bedrock Edition lazy pandas will at least get off their butts for food. Worried pandas, anxious boys, they run from you. Hide during thunderstorms, do not eat on their own, gotta hand feed these poor boys. Playful pandas, the extroverts of the group. They be rolling down in the deep. They have so much energy, in fact, that they might roll off a cliff and die, so add safety rails to whatever enclosures that you make. Aggressive pandas, if you're a monster and you punch a panda, these are the ones that won't take your crap. They will start trying to kill you in the slowest way possible. They're horror movie pandas. If you try and smack these boys, they will continuously hunt you until you're out of their range or dead. and if you try and hit their friends, they also get hostile and begin the hunt. Which honestly, why are we still trying to get brown pandas? I don't know why you're still fixated on these rare Cinnaboys when you could have an accessible angry army. But oh well, that's why you're here, so let's move on. Weak pandas. Great for slime ball farms as babies, and not much else. They tend to sneeze more often than regular baby pandas, and have half the health of other pandas. Frail. And finally, brown pandas. Basically shiny normie pandas. They do not have any unique personality actions, but, fun fact, they are based on this IRL species of panda. The brown panda, otherwise known as the Kinling panda, I think I'm saying that right, is a subspecies of the giant panda. They're slightly smaller, weren't recognized as a subspecies until 2005. Look it up if you want more details, it's pretty interesting. Side note, I've never been more jealous of Bedrock Edition because their rarest mob is this man. And I want him. Let us move on to breeding conditions, because pandas are the only Minecraft mob so far that needs specific conditions in order to breed, which might parallel just how hard it is to actually get them to breed in real life. The fact that they're not extinct is honestly a wonder, because humans thought they were cute and thus made sure they didn't. So here is your breeding condition checklist, if you will. To enter love mode, you gotta have at least 8 bamboo blocks within a 5-block radius of both pandas. Otherwise, they just eat the bamboo. Feed the 2 pandas bamboo, but not too close because otherwise they become hostile towards you for whatever reason. So to complicate things further, pandas have hidden genes. So break out those Punnett squares, we're going back to middle school. It's not as complicated as standard genetics, as it is fairly explained, at least somewhat well, by these Punnett squares. Still, you might want one for what's to come. The basic concept is when you take 2 pandas and breed them, their genetics are going to mix and make a random result from their hidden and main genes. What you need to know is each panda has a main gene and each one has a hidden gene. So the dominant genes include these personalities: normal, aggressive, lazy, worried, playful. The recessive genes include worried and brown. I still find it strange that they continue to call it personalities, but oh well. It kind of feels like brown was just tacked on there so they could add a shiny variant. Dominant genes are always going to display over the hidden/recessive gene. Say you had a lazy panda and a worried panda. They both have dominant genes, so their baby has a 50-50 chance to be lazy or worried. Since if both genes are dominant, then the main gene has priority. And that's assuming they both have double dominant genes. So like, lazy, lazy, worried, worried. You still with me? I'd understand if you needed a second after that. Okay, so if a panda shows as brown or weak, meaning they are already a brown panda or a weak panda, then they have to have both their hidden and main trait to be brown/weak. In other words, they have 2 recessive genes. So interestingly, if you have a recessive gene, brown or worried, and the other panda doesn't have that recessive gene, you just get a normal panda when you breed the 2. Also, panda breeding cooldowns are 5 minutes. Without bamboo to speed things up, it takes baby pandas 1 full Minecraft day, or 20 minutes, to grow up. Thus, here's my best strategy. Mass breed as many pandas as you can, trying to figure out if they have the recessive brown gene. If you keep getting normal babies from a specific pair, then that means one of the 2 of them has a recessive gene. Because any combination of a recessive and any other gene, when bred, will just net you a normal panda. Take their babies, pull a bit of a Sweet Home Alabama, and you should have a decent chance to see what recessive trait it is. One monkey wrench is thrown into this, however. You'll get some mutations when breeding, because if you didn't know, to complicate things further, there's a 1 in 32 chance that both the main or recessive gene could mutate. So at least your odds are better than finding a blueberry boba baby, but the odds of both mutating to brown, somebody do the math, are very, very low. Here are your odds for mutation for each of the panda personalities. Ironically, your chances of mutating for the weak gene, fairly high. Anything else, not so much. So, here's our final strategy, buddies. Factoring in random mutations, your best bet to get a brown panda is to try and find a pair that has the recessive trait. You'll do this through mass breeding, repeatedly checking your jungle for a bit of a fresh panda to add to your gene pool, and carefully keeping track of your breeding projects. Keep an eye out for pairs that sometimes give normal babies when they both seem to have dominant genes. Odds are, one of them has a recessive gene, if you're not factoring in mutations. Regardless, breed their babies with each other and see if you can figure out the recessive gene. But at your luckiest, you'll just find one. By the time you get your serious Cinnaboy, you're going to end up with an angry army, a playpen of playful pandas, a wave of worried boys, and so on. If you're heartless, you can just kill the ones you don't want, though I'd recommend keeping the angry ones for at least potential bodyguards. So best of luck! Bye-bye!